everybody. Randy Patterson here with Boomerosity. If you're as old as I am, you undoubtedly know all too well the great song Rock Me Gently by Andy Kim. I would dare say that every classic music station across the country plays it probably at least once a day, if not more. It is that much of a standard, has that strong of legs to last all this time. How long of a time, you might ask? 50 years. 50 years, May 2024 is the anniversary. 50 years ago. Can you believe that? I don't. I can't. But Andy Kim and I talked about that, and he talked about the blessings he feels in his career. And that's not the only song he was known for. Prior to that, he had Baby I Love You and Be My Baby. And a lot of people don't realize he's behind the song Sugar Sugar by the Archies. Remember the Archies, that cartoon? I loved it. I loved that song. And I had a crush on Betty and Veronica. Yeah, cartoon characters, but hey, I was a lonely guy. What can I say? But anyway, Andy and I had a great time talking. I feel like we developed a great friendship in this talk. And that was always a benefit when I hang up from talking with somebody, feeling that kind of kindred spirit. So I hope you get the same feeling here in this conversation. It was a lot of fun. Definitely a highlight for me and a thrill. So if you don't mind, when you listen to this, if you would hit like, and if you would hit subscribe to whatever channel you're watching or listening to this on, would you also please share it with your friends and ask them to do the same? It'd be a huge help. Doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us out tremendously. So without any further ado, here is my first interview with my now new good friend, Andy Kim. Until next time, this is Randy Patterson with Boomerosity. Take care. Hello there, Andy Kim. How you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Hey, it's great to hook up with you after listening to you for, gosh, you're making me feel old. 50 years of hearing Rock Me Gently. I'm like, oh my gosh. I remember when it first came out. I'm sure you don't feel a bit old at all about it, do you? So
I feel very blessed and lucky every day until someone taps me on the shoulders and reminds me. Yeah, like, oh my God, we were in high school, or we were in this and we were in college. And, the interesting thing is that Rock Me Gently ended up on, so many commercials, and it ended up on Ray Donovan. I don't know if you ever saw that segment.
No, I didn't, but I heard about it. A lot of people were talking about it.
And the interesting thing for me was the producer, director, used to play that song. He was a DJ in college, and he used to play that song as the final song of the evening.
Wow.
And so, look, don't tell anybody. I'm really lucky and blessed. I'm really lucky and blessed, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, where are you dialing in from? Are you in Montreal?
I'm in Toronto at the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Just completely off the subject of your career in music. In a previous life, not too long ago, my career, my day job career was with the great Nortel or Northern Telecom, all that.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was with them for about 20 years, and then we all know what happened there. But I'd been to Toronto several times and to Montreal and all of that. So, but it's been a long time since I've been up there. Very long time.
Well, you know what? I ran away from home and then came back home. It's the coolest thing in the world, and to be able to look back and realize that I've been so fortunate to have everybody turn me down. It allowed me to start my own record company and make my own records, and so never say no.
That's right.
Or never listen to no.
Well, it's every musician, every artist dreams of having that song that everybody knows, and I'd forgotten until I was doing the prep for this show that I'd forgotten that Ron Dante had told me that you were on there doing Sugar Sugar, and I mean, like, it just, I'm not a musician, I'm not a singer. I just love talking to you guys who have, made up the soundtrack of my life, especially my youth. And, it blows my mind what a small world it really is. And for you and your peers to have done songs that are still played somewhere every day. That has got to be, you're talking about being blessed, but I mean, what does it feel like to you? I mean, that just has to be a mind blower.
Um, if you knew me as a kid and you know me now as an adult, um, the work was always the important thing. Um, I got excited about listening to WKBW in Buffalo and WABC in New York, and they've helped me form a dream that I never thought I'd dream. I grew up in the tenements of Montreal. I know that my life and my future was already predicted, but that transistor radio changed my life. I don't come from a musical family. I wanted to be part of something. I didn't want to own it. I didn't want to be king of it. I just wanted to be part of the circus. And I was lucky enough to go to New York City and meet Jeff Barry and Ellie Greenwich and Lieber and Stoller and be around. They're very iconic, Carole King, Jerry Goffin, Barry Mann, Cynthia Weil. I mean, the fact that I got there knowing only two chords, and I was given an opportunity. I think that it's, they talk about talent, but there's a big ingredient in my life, and that's luck. And I feel very blessed. I did an interview with a station in Cyprus a couple of years ago, and I asked them, so how far does your station beam? How far does it go? Well, they go throughout the Middle East and everywhere. And I thought to myself, geez, I would like to tour there. And then things happen and you can't tour there. It's just not the time.
Right.
But I'm the guy who thanks God every day, thanks God every night, for allowing me to have the courage to be around people that were much more talented than me, and to able to sprinkle some stardust on me and make my records.
Could a Andy Kim today do what you did back then? Could it happen today?
I don't know what happened then to actually be around the people that we're talking about.
Right.
I mean, Sugar Sugar was written in like 10 minutes. It was for a comic book. And the interesting thing, someone sent me a note regarding Baby I Love You and Sugar Sugar, May 24th, 1969. Baby I Love You, my version, hit the American charts for the first time. And May 24th, 1969, Sugar Sugar was released, but nobody wanted to play it till the middle of July.
And why was that?
Huh?
Why was that? Not waiting.
Well, I mean, the climate. I mean, there was a year of Woodstock. It was unrest in the streets. Kent shootings were there. We went to the moon. The music was changing. Look, I never followed a pattern. I never thought, okay, well, this is what's going on in the world, and I'm going to write something about that. There are some great poetic artists that can do that. I just wanted to be around Betty and Veronica, and
So did I.
maybe they come to life, which they did, by the way, but we can't talk about it.
That's a I had a crush. I mean, I'm glad to hear someone else say that. I'm not the only one that had a crush on two cartoon characters. That.
Yeah, because you can't say it out loud because
Yeah,
they're gonna carry you away.
yeah,
somewhere.
there'll be that straitjacket thing going on. So did you? I mean, Andy, I'm sorry that it's hard for me to ask questions you haven't already been asked a million times, but I just got to hear it with my own 2 ears. But I mean, recording that "Rock Me Gently," especially, or let's take "Rock Me Gently" or "Sugar Sugar." Do you have any idea that 50 or so years from then, that you could be driving down the road, still hear the songs, still hear it, on a TV program, in a movie, hearing it in a restaurant as it's coming over the speakers in the restaurant. I mean, did it even enter your mind that we'd be talking about these songs 50 or so years later?
Well, let me tell you a little bit about me. I have always been, I think, even as a child, I've always lived the day. So if yesterday I got hurt, my feelings got hurt, or there was something that bothered me, I only carry the lesson to today. So I've been gifted with the fact that I just live the moment, because I do know that I'm living my one and only life, not my brother's lives, not my parents' lives, not anyone else that I worked with. This is my only opportunity to live and be blessed by the fact that everything that's going on in my life has been a blessing. Some of it has been hurtful, but that hurt has been a blessing as well. I'm a guy who believes that you're born with a certain amount of heartbeats. You don't know how many you've been born with. So you may as well stay away from the people that make you angry or disturb your life or try to change your life, because you're not going to get these heartbeats back. So it's kind of pretty limited to what we're born with. So I look back at 50 years and I think, wow, I'm still here. I'm more philosophical as I got older, as you can tell by this conversation. I see life from a different place, but I've never really taken for granted the love and the appreciation that I have for everybody that, signed on and said, I love this record. And, but here's what else I know. There's a Getty Museum in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever driven by there.
I have.
But I know that there are 2 cars, the same make, the same color. 2 drivers have the radio on, and one of them is going south and the other one's going north. And the one that's going either way, Sugar Sugar comes on, or Rock Me Gently, and they turn it up. And that other car that's going right across, that driver says, I hate this effing song. So I can't explain it, but it's what I believe.
Yeah. Well, and that perspective keeps one humble, and I sense that about you. I don't know, though. I mean, Andy, for me and why I do what I do, I've been doing this for over 15 years now, and somewhere around 500 interviews to my credit. But I do it, 'cause I'm not a musician. I don't sing like I've told you before, but just something about the music, and especially from that era, where I'm constantly amazed at the legs it still has. And yeah, there's to your point, there are those who some love a song and some hate, but we all remember it. And it's all, I mean, you know, I wasn't a big fan of the song Disco Duck, but when it comes on, now I smile, it's just something about the staying power of the music you guys created. And I don't know, Andy, one thing I always like to ask artists is, you have these songs that you're known for. What do fans have fans that come up to you and tell you a story about the song as it pertained to their life? Is there a favorite or two from any of your catalog of work that when they come up to you, they said, Andy, I got to tell you, this song meant this happened during that. Your song got me through this, that, or the other. Do you have favorite stories along those lines?
I think I love to go to the market to shop. I love to cook.
Mhm.
And people will come up to me and they say, "You're Andy Kemp, right?" And immediately my heart stops a little bit. Um, and and the stories kind of fill the sentences where, we love this song, or my God, Sugar, Sugar, and Rock Me Gently, and Baby, I Love You, and your version of Be My Baby. And I feel so grateful. I don't know what to say, because there's a great Khalil Gibran saying. Are you familiar with Khalil Gibran?
Yeah.
Saying is, your children come from you, but they don't belong to you.
Mm.
So those songs, I really believe in, those songs came from somewhere. The ideas came from somewhere, and somehow I was able to finish them. And but they stopped belonging to me once the records came out.
Yeah.
There are moments when I think about Rock Me Gently that I started my own record company because everybody turned me down. So I came back to Canada, and I segued through all the things that had to be done in order for me to, celebrate a gold record, #1. And I'm in the office of the chairman of Capitol Records, and he's talking to me about joining me in the UK when I do Top of the Pops. And the door suddenly opens, and someone's unwrapping something. And he looks at what he's unwrapped, and he said, "Andy Kemp, congratulations." And it's John Lennon. And I am frozen. I'm frozen in this moment. And the chairman just grabs my elbow and starts shoving me out the door. And he gives me the gold record that I'm taking down to the promotion department to celebrate with them. And Lennon was there to talk to Bhaskar Menon,
Mhm.
the chairman, about whatever gets you through the night with Elton John.
Yep.
And I always, I think about today's technology. There was no cell phones. There was no one to take a picture. There was nothing. But it doesn't matter, because my heart is filled with a moment where not only did he just hand it to me and looked at me, and I thought, I'll never get over this. But also mentioned me when at KHJ the following day, there was a top 10 run, and it was a #1 record. And I got a chance, thanks to Phil Spector, to be there when he was recording John's album in in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So those things happened to me. I'm sure it happens to other artists where someone's showing up and all of that. And there's no expectation from me. I'm not there to tell you who I am. I know some extremely talented people that they think that they're better human beings because they had hit records.
Yeah.
And I'm truly the third of four brothers that was lucky enough to be brave enough to do this. This may sound boring to everybody,
Not
but
at all.
it's
Not
the
at all.
truth.
I mean, I know how I felt when I met Ringo Starr, so I can imagine what you felt like meeting John. I mean, wow. At Capitol, did you happen to meet or know Ken Mansfield when he was there?
I know the name, but the people that the one person other than Baskerman and some of the people in the sales department was Al Khoury.
Yeah.
Does that ring a bell to you?
Yeah.
So my record comes out in Canada, and I concentrated promoting because I was my own promotion man. I was everything because I cared enough about the song and the record, and I was proud of it and excited about it. So I really centered my attention on the border states.
Mm-hmm.
My first hit, How Did We Ever Get This Way, was played in Detroit by radio station WKNR. And Paul Cannon was the program director. Still remember that beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a phone call from someone I don't even know. And he says, look, I'm in Detroit, and every mom and pop place I go to where they sell records, all the Handelmans everywhere, and some of the radio stations are talking about your record, Rock Me Gently. And there's no records in the stores, or it's not out in the US. And I said, well, I spoke to a trucker a couple of weeks ago, and I have 5,000 units. It's a Wednesday. I have 5,000 units going to be there in about a week or so. He says, no, you don't understand. You need 20,000 units in the Detroit market on Monday.
No pressure.
And I said, do you want to sign me? He said, no. He said, I just don't want you to lose this record. It's a #1 record. I said, well, I don't know how to do this. He said, I know how to do it. He said, take your master to Wally at the mastering place at Capitol, give it to him, I'll take care of everything else. A week and a half later, I'm 88 with a bullet in
Wow.
Billboard. And so how do you go from trying to find, first of all, I'm not a promotion man, trying to find a way that you can create something for your song that you love so much, and a stranger comes up to you and says, no, I don't want to sign you. I just don't want you to lose this record. Now, Al Khoury was promotion of Capitol. When the Beatles broke up, their separate contracts with Capitol said that every album that we create and comes out has to have Al Khoury as our promotion man. When John Lennon went to Geffen, it was in his contract about Al Khoury. Al Khoury eventually ran RSO for Stigwood.
Mm-hmm.
When the Bee Gees, sold a gazillion million.
Off the country.
Yeah. And so I owe him so much, but he was a record man. He was someone who loved his life. And I think that if you love your life, you're going to help people.
That's
You're
right.
going to care about people. You're going to be kind to people. You will forgive people. If you don't like your life, that's not happening.
That's right.
And so I've been blessed to have done all these things. Don't know how I'm tongue-tied sometimes just thinking about, wow, I actually went to the Brill Building. I actually got in the elevator. I actually went to the 9th floor. And the Lieber and Stoller offices, when you walked in, you couldn't tell if the walls were painted or if the wall, what color it would be, or if it was wallpaper or it was just stone. What it was covered with are gold records.
Wow.
You know, I appreciate what you have behind you.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. But that's the ability to love your life, love what you do, and
Mhm.
help people.
Well, the reason why I asked you about Ken Mansfield, he was over Apple US while the Beatles were, of course, in Great Britain. If you see the rooftop concert, he was the man in the white overcoat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he wrote several books. He died about a year and a half ago. He and I became friends, and I had interviewed him several times, and he was kind enough to sign every one of his books for me. I'll never give those away. They'll only part from my possession when I die. But yeah, he has some stories. If you can ever read his books, they're very, very good. But I was just curious if you had ever crossed paths with him because he was quite a man.
You know what? I'm in awe of the Beatles,
Mm-hmm.
Brian Epstein,
Mm-hmm.
all. What do you? You know, I'm tongue-tied. I'm like, I'm just, you know, hypothetically thrilled that maybe the Beatles heard Sugar Sugar, or maybe they heard Rock Me Gently or Baby I Love You or any of my songs. But you know, it's a different world today, and I really appreciate the time that you've taken and the time that people have given me talking about something that I did, but I was guided by one of God's special angels. I guarantee you that much.
I sense that. What's on your radar for the next year or so? What you got going on?
Well, I'm starting to do festivals in the U.S. It's
Oh,
starting in September in Massachusetts, and it's been a long time since I toured the country that gave me everything.
mhm.
Uh, I I'm I had a record out with Broken Social Scene, Kevin Drew. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's in your radar at all. And so we're getting together to write again. I've got a couple of things that I've been writing, and I performed at one of the casinos a week and a half ago, and he showed up, and I asked him, what are you doing here? This is not your crowd. He says, hey, I just wanted to see how you're doing. And so there are really extremely talented and very kind people that have made me realize that although I'm on the back porch of my days, my music still works
Yeah. It does.
to help people smile and feel good, you know.
Mhm. And on that note, when you step off the great tour bus of life up at the big gig in the sky, as Pink Floyd called it, how do you want to be remembered? What do you hope your legacy is when it's all said and done?
Well, first of all, I don't know if I have a legacy, and if I were to think about a legacy, I would just say he understood that this was his one and only life, and he he wanted so many people to recognize that this is their one and only lives as well, and to be kind and to be forgiving, because it's the only way to move forward in life.
Mhm.
Look, I've got some buddies that are still, excuse the term, pissed off at people. And it's just robbing them of a better time. I'm tired of listening to I coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Mhm.
That's not why you're here. You're here to, you know, fall down, um, win the moment, lose the moment. It's all about the electricity that's inside this planet that we're living in. Good, bad, or indifferent. This is your one and only trip. But I don't know if it falls on deaf ears. So it's
It's not your job for them to be deaf or hearing. It's just your job to say it, isn't it? So, and that's powerful stuff, Andy. I want to again personally thank you for all the years of great music and music that just makes you smile, makes you want to reach over and turn the volume up. And when Eric contacted me and asked me if I was interested, I did not hesitate. I usually like to wait until I get back to my computer so I can write on a better format on my emails, but I hit it on my phone right away, and he responded quickly. And I mean, this all happened in what 24 hours or so.
yeah.
So I'm thrilled that this got to happen, and to be able to talk to you. And whenever you have new music out, Andy, please know my door's always open to you, and I'd love to chat with you about anything you have new going on.
Well, you know what? I think every now and then you find a kindred spirit.
Mhm.
And I would love for, I'm going to ask Eric how to get a hold of you. And, um, and I would love to find a way to meet you in person
Oh, I'd love
and
that. I'm honored. Wow.
spend time um, educating ourselves on how we're doing and where we're going, you know?
Yeah, how we live life.
Yeah.
That's the important stuff. That'd be wonderful. Especially I'm like I said, I'm in East Tennessee, but and these days I live next door to my dad. He's not doing well these days.
Wow. How old is he?
He will turn 88 next month,
Wow.
and some cognitive degradation has taken place,
Yeah.
and so I get to be here and help them, and I'm thrilled with that and savoring those moments. But with some notice, I can break away and take a little trip or whatever. So if you're going to be anywhere within driving distance of East Tennessee, Knoxville specifically, I'd love to drive up, meet you, and do what you just said. And honestly, I'll tell Eric to pass my information along. I'll give
Okay.
him my phone number too, and we'll just chat. My phone number, even though I'm in East Tennessee, I kept my Texas phone number when I moved here 10 and a half years ago on my cell phone. So don't think I'm some kind of flaky fly by night guy. I'm just a flaky one in one place guy is what I am.
Well, you know what? I did not waste my heartbeats with you. I just got to tell you that much. And I
Wow,
think
man,
that,
I'm honored. I'm honored.
well, I'm
So
honored
fine.
too. I'm honored too. I think it goes both ways. And so I'm going to make use of that phone number, email, or whatever it is, the pigeons that allow us to
So
connect. And
sometimes I feel like I'm on Green Acres, and with cell phone coverage, I have to climb up a pole to get a good signal or something. So, by the way,
um,
just so you know where I am, I'm a mile and a half up the road from the service entrance into Dollywood. That's where I live.
oh,
So, Dolly Parton's amusement park. That's where I live, or near it. I should probably be a clown in the park, but I digress. So,
well, you know what? You can do whatever you want to do.
that's right. That's right. That's right. You
I,
said that. And when you love what you do, it's not work, is it?
It's never work, you know, it's like it's really kind of magic. Um, you know, I've had some records that I was excited about that didn't work, and but there's a balance. Some of them, like, you know, like Sugar Sugar, whoever thought that, you know, that was going to be anything?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know Don Kirshner loves to talk, or used to love to talk about, you know, giving it to the monkeys, but trust me, it was always for Betty and Veronica
That's
and
right.
Reggie and Jughead and everybody, you know.
When I tell people that aren't into the weeds about music like you and I are, and when I tell them that Ron Dante, you know, had a lot to do with that song, and he went on to produce Barry Manilow,
Yeah,
as people are like, "What?" You know, but that's the beauty of music, you know. And there's all these tentacles that reach out and
yeah,
connect and pull things together and create something new. And that's what's so fascinating, especially about our generation of music.
yeah.
And so many of you guys are still creating new music and reaching new crowds and creating new fans. That's a testament to the quality of the work. And that's what I do. I want to keep it going, tell people like me what guys like you are up to these days, and they can see you firsthand on my show, and um, enjoy what you have to say. So that's why I keep doing what I keep doing. So
Well, you know, speaking of Ron, was such a dear friend, and I know that. Um, Look, Wilson Pickett and Tina Turner and Bob Marley and so many other people covered the song, but there's only one that helped create this, and Ron's the perfect voice for
Mhm.
this,
Mhm.
and it's just, and it's great that I call him a friend, and we smile a lot, you know, knowing what our backgrounds were, where he came from, where I came from,
Mhm.
and maybe just such a talented man, and such an honest and good person, you know.
He,
That's
he struck me that way. I mean, it's been years since I've talked to him, and he's actually been on my mind a lot lately. When I interviewed him, it was just all audio, and I would transcribe. In the last 4 or so years, I've started doing the Zoom thing and, you know, putting on video. So I'd love to get him on video again, or on video period, to kind of talk. And you know, in 12, 14 years since I've talked to him, I'd like to think I got a little better at this and ask a little more intelligent questions, and he can enjoy it a little bit better than he did all those years ago. So, but so you're inspiring me to want to do that. So I think I will reach out to him today and see if I can. I know he's doing some touring with the Happy Together tour or
yeah,
something
right.
like
He's been
that.
doing that,
Yeah, yeah.
and
So
look, uh, he identified for us the sound of the Archies,
yeah,
and um, when that happens, you know, it's a pretty cool feeling to know that the right person showed up
yeah,
to identify those records, you know,
yep,
especially Sugar Sugar.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, just one of a kind.
Yep.
Would you tell him you and I spoke if you get to him before I do?
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
And likewise, tell him I'm going to reach out to him. So
Okay, I will.
I'm going to drop Eric a note and give him my contact info so that, you know, we can stay in touch offline. And
Okay,
like I said, if
thank
there's
you.
anything I can ever do to help you, my friend, don't hesitate to reach out. And this has been a true thrill to me. Thank you for the kind words. More importantly, thank you for all the years of fun, great music. It's amazing.
Well, I'm I'm uh, I'm still here and still in awe of all of this.
Mhm.
So I thank you. We'll talk soon, I hope.
All right. Yes, sir. Take care. And we exactly that. We will talk soon.
Thank
Take
you.
care. All right. Bye bye.
Bye.